fans, here we go. SparStar Promotions is proud to present the rerounds of mixed martial arts in the bantamweight division. This bout is sponsored in part by Fu Community. Once again, our referee in charge of this bout, Carlos Eduardo. And now, introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, he is wearing black trunks. He is training out of Saxon's Muay Thai and Street Sports Jiu-Jitsu by way of Simi Valley. He weighed in 135 pounds. His record, 3 wins, 3 losses, with all 3 wins coming by way of stoppage. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Kevin Lizardo. His opponent across the cage on my right, fighting out of the red corner. He is wearing gold and white trunks. He is training out of Premier, San Diego, California. He weighed in 136 pounds. His record, 2 wins with 3 losses. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Julyan, the King Hanna! All right, fans, here we go. The rerounds of mixed martial arts in the bantamweight division.
All right, John, lots of people very excited for this one. As you mentioned, a big crowd here, and a lot of people coming out here supporting both of these gentlemen. They start off with the same idea, pressing the same button, going for kicks, and they continue to do so. Nice.
Oh. Man, both fighters throwing some stiff right hands.
Julyan now pushing up Lizardo against the cage, trying to get in for a takedown here. He's maybe looking for a trip momentarily. A knee for good measure. Lizardo tries to respond with a knee of his own and takes a little bit of time to go ahead and get recalibrated here. The gentleman will now go back to the center of the cage.
Yeah, Lizardo standing southpaw. Was orthodox earlier, but now back to orthodox.
I mean, Hanna, if you look at his hands right now, he is definitely coming in for business.
Good jab from Lizardo.
If you're looking at the way, I mean, we get the pleasure of looking at it from the up view, from that crane shot, but you can see the way that Hanna's trying to cut the angles to basically press Kevin more and more to the edges of that cage.
Oh, good right hand from Julyan. Spinning back kick from Lizardo.
Nice.
Oh, good step in left.
Looks like there's a low blow, and Hanna kind of knows it. He nods his head. We're going to give Lizardo a few seconds here.
That left that connected clean from Lizardo, that was from the southpaw. So he actually switched stance, stepping in and threw that left. So it was like even if he's right-handed, then it was not his power hand, but he threw it from the power punching stance.
And, you know, Julyan respectfully gave him his time, so now we're back to the action here. 1 minute, 10 seconds left to go in the very first round of action here between these gentlemen.
Leg kick countered with a punch by Julyan.
Some good combinations there by Julyan. Nice stiff jab yet again. A very powerful weapon for Kevin thus far in.
Yeah, Julian's got to watch out when Kevin goes to southpaw. He's looking to throw the power right down the middle, just like he would if he were a southpaw. But changes so quickly when they're switching stances because you don't have to worry about that when he's orthodox, obviously. Oh, nice. Wow, really lines up on that one. And the countering of the leg kicks with shots to the head. Oh, and now they're just going at it.
Good movement there by Lizardo. Head movement really coming in handy in that section. And if you look at it, Look at the way that Julyan's face is starting to kind of get marked up. You're seeing a little bit of blood tracing through there. So if you're really looking at the way Kevin's coming into this fight, some of those strikes are landing, but they're starting to create a little bit of damage. So, you know, the nice part about this is good back and forth first round, man.
Yeah, that one was really interesting. Both fighters starting to find their groove a little bit.
Yeah.
Kevin, well, both fighters actually, really countering those leg kicks
Yes.
with punches right to the face, which is a great way to counter it.
And, you know, there was a moment early on where Kevin was trying to throw these leg kicks, and you almost saw that Julyan was expecting it, said, go ahead, kick me here. I'm going to counter off of that. Midway through that match, there was a little bit of a switch in that strategy. Kevin started trying to push the action, and then toward the end of that round, that last minute, connects with some really good barrages. So I do get the sense that you got a little bit of that pressed up against the cage feeling in that first round. You do wonder, is that going to become a factor? Is that something that you want to utilize in this second round? We're going to find that out right now, but very, very solid work from these gents.
Spicy question for you,
Yes, sir.
Rafa Esparza.
Yes.
Who do you think won that round?
That's tough. I mean,
That is tough.
nope. No, thank you.
Yeah, that's
Pass.
That's an acceptable answer. Here we go into round two. Oh,
Timing looking really nice here for Lizardo.
oh, nice 1-2 from Hanna.
Mhm.
Interesting to see.
Oof.
Oh, and now
Oh.
that left hook, that connected clean on Hanna. Oh,
Ooh.
thinking about a spinning back kick, maybe a spinning fist. Neither of them were thrown.
But you're looking at like the clash of two completely different styles here, John, and they're both entertaining a full-on war. But you're looking at composed, classic, very solid work by Lizardo, and you're looking at Julyan, who wants to get a knockout. Like when he pressures, that pressure looks really tough. And respect to both of these fighters because they're both making adjustments on where they have to get their ins.
Oh, nice body kick there from Hanna. Oh, low blow. Really interesting, too, off of this. And they're going to take a little bit of time and see if Kevin is okay. One adjustment that Hanna has made, are they going to take a point? They're going to take a point.
Oh boy, that's pretty critical, man.
Or was that just an official warning?
Maybe it's the official warning. I think
Okay.
you got to probably go warning first before you go to the point. But
Yeah, it seemed a little early to go to the point. I didn't see like a, I don't know, unless maybe that was just a very intentional foul, but it didn't look
that's
like
fair.
it to me. But we always don't have the best camera angle depending on how they're moving.
And, you know, I mean, it's a little difficult to kind of figure it out as it's happening in real time here. So we give them a few seconds to get their bearings. I mean, Kevin seems to be giving the signal he is okay to go back. And it's hard because you want to keep that momentum when you feel like you're really in it. All right, we go back to the action now. We'll see the clock here momentarily. That's 1:57 left to go.
Oh, nice step and jab. One adjustment that you've seen Hanna make is in reaction to the switching stance to southpaw of Lizardo. Hanna is now switching to southpaw.
You're right.
And he's doing it intermittently, but that's interesting to see.
But you'll notice,
Oh,
like,
nice
yep,
catch
against
into
the
a body
cage.
lock
Beautiful.
and nearly pulled Kevin on top of him
Yeah.
on the ground. Tried to change the angle, but then they both end up on the feet. Very nicely
But
done.
this is what I was talking about, just the urgency and the power that Hannah's trying to put into
Oh,
this.
good right hands.
And if you're looking at it like, if you had a fighter who wasn't as composed as Kevin is, it would be a much different conversation with that takedown, well-timed here, and probably at the right moment for Hanna.
Yeah, he was eating a few big right hands. They were off the jab, the southpaw stance, so it was more of a jab, hook type of thing. But they were connecting pretty clean on Hanna, and Hanna able to get to the ground. Nice entry into that double.
And Hannah's starting to kind of crawl him on over to the edge of the cage, probably make it a little bit harder to cut the angles that Lizardo needs to, and allows him to potentially enact some damage, but the referee's going to stand them back up right now.
Okay.
I think perhaps surprising because that wasn't quite enough evidence that there was any offense going on there. But at the same point, this is probably very beneficial to Lizardo. who now has the opportunity to go ahead and get some stand-up back in, but I think he's looking a little tired from this round thus far in.
Throwing some kicks still.
Yep.
Is Hanna. Here, going to southpaw, Hanna. Now
Last
back
few
to
seconds of
orthodox.
the second round.
Well.
Okay. I mean, a good fight. We've had to take a couple breaks here in that fight for some low blows. You wonder if that's in the judges' heads. You know, if that does become a point that gets taken away here,
Oh, man.
it will very, very much impact how this fight is scored, because right now there is a possibility that is a 1-1 fight.
Could be.
It could
Very
be.
well could be.
But when you are fighting this close of a fight and you get a point taken away from you, you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know where you are. You don't know what your points stand at. And you really may be fighting with your back up against the wall when you could still be winning in some way.
Yes.
So
So,
it's very
regardless, you will see that. Typically, you'll see that fighter that had the point taken away fight with a bit of a sense of urgency, which could expose them. So if they were still winning, because they're not sure yet, it's not open scoring. So if they were still winning and they open up too much, that could cause them to lose the fight too. So it's a really interesting strategy to
And
see the way
keep in
people
mind,
deal
John,
with that point.
It's the switch in stance that was creating that. So now, even as you're going, you didn't necessarily do it on purpose. You did it as a result of that switch of stance twice. So it kind of makes you think, oh, well, conversation happening here.
I think he's warning them about the low blows, maybe.
Yeah, potentially a nice reminder like, hey, let's finish it out. 3 minutes, no low blows, please. It's a very close fight here between
Good left from Hanna.
Hanna and Lizardo. I mean, this fight has had some really thrilling moments thus far in, John.
Neither one seemed to be slowing down here in the third.
No.
Good left from Kevin. Hanna throws that
Nice.
calf kick.
I mean, Lizardo with these kicks has been very effective. If you've watched throughout the fight, when he lands very, very well.
Did he just punch the leg of Kevin? The lead
Potentially.
leg?
Yes. Ooh.
Dropping down.
Looks for the takedown, doesn't quite get it. Lizardo very nicely stuffs it, but you get the impression that might be where we're trying to go here again. Nice. Nice touch there. I mean, if you think about it, the output for both of these gentlemen fairly high, so that you are seeing them now. It is getting harder to try and do that because, man, some of the impact that they've come in has been very, very aggressive, very strong.
You can see Kevin switched to southpaw, and then Julyan was the one that attacked right down the middle of that right. Yeah. So that's he's now pretty aware and looking to counter that switch, whether he's switching himself or he's looking to tee off.
Over the top. It's
Nice.
like 3 times in a row, and it really, really looked solid for Kevin. Kevin's got to make sure he stuffs this. He gets pushed up against the cage right now. This will be a big moment in the fight. There's 1:13 left to go. Lizardo has to make sure that he does not get taken down here, and he swats him away. This is good for him to center back up, but it's not a short thing, and that's another continued touch over here. That right hand proving a big problem for Hanna throughout this fight. I mean, the nice part is Hanna has a good takedown here. He's very close to getting it, and he does get it at a very opportune time. There is 47 seconds left to go. If you are Kevin, you have to be very cautious on how he's either passing or maintaining this position. That underhook is exactly where you need to go, but we need a 2-on-1 if we are to make sure nothing happens here. A wild elbow kind of coming out around, and it's just indicative of how much these guys are putting into this fight. There's 27 seconds left to go, and you get the feeling they are exhausted, John, and I'm exhausted just talking about it.
Yeah, still a high pace, though.
Absolutely.
15 seconds. And there, not seeing the range that he's liking. Hanna just kind of throwing some legs out there. Testing the waters. Only a couple seconds left to go. Drops down for this double. Finishes it. That's going to play in the judge's mind.
That's definitely going to be a factor. But, I mean, the question is this. Somebody brings you a sample platter. Do you want more wrestling? Do you want more of those clean strikes? Or are you judging as a composite of them? Because sometimes you see some judges like one or the other. And you're thinking most of the times it should be both, but let's take a look at some of these highlights, John. Look at this. Lizardo, showing early in the fight he liked to go over top and found a home with that right hand multiple times. And with his jab, I mean, a nice switch up, back and forth, classically done here. And yet, even when he caught it here, that was a great, it was a great entry, but you know what's so wild is, he is so aggressive with his nature. Hanna actually almost put him on top. But throughout the fight, you saw very, very effective takedowns from Hanna. So
was that with a body lock? He wasn't even holding the legs. He just ran him through with a body lock. I mean, it can work. It's just, you know, if you can drop down the legs, should be on paper a little higher percentage, but body lock, absolutely.
It happens. On
I mean,
occasion.
but without even like an outside trip or anything.
Yeah.
He just like started running, the way you would finish a double, but just from the body lock low. Interesting. That is, I mean, it was effective. It was great.
It is not surprising in the sense when you saw how much force Hanna was coming in. When he came out in this fight, the very first few seconds, with energy. So you get a sense when that guy feels like he's got a takedown in front of him, that's just almost attrition that he's getting that takedown with. So it is impressive to watch his progression. I mean, both these gentlemen have been fighting for SparStar for a bit. So it's really good to see how they've come along. I think both of these gentlemen are a testament to how our process works. And I think that getting to see this fight, honestly, you see the makings or the next progression to both these gentlemen being pros. Because the entire time I was watching it, I didn't get the sense this was an amateur fight.
Not at all. These guys are very high level, and it was a really interesting fight to watch. Very technical and great back and forth. It's a hard one to call. Honestly.
And I mean, you know, the nice part is, you think about it, where Hanna didn't have a fight just a few weeks ago. I know Kevin has lost fights for whatever reason. Opponents, something changes, you never know, last minute. And now the two of them just smiling because they've had those moments where they didn't have a fight show up, but tonight they had a hell of a fight. So whatever fate or thing made this happen here tonight, they are an early contender for fight of the night, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I love watching these guys fight. I could watch them fight 10 more times. I would be very entertained. So whatever the outcome, nobody really lost this one.
No, but that was a very slow reaction from the judges that we're now just barely getting to our fight announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards. We have our decision. Judge at cage side, Carlos Shad scores about 29-26, while both judges cage side, Ed Eade and Franklin Aguirre, scored about 30-26 in favor of our winner by unanimous decision, the blue corner, Kevin Lizardo.
What's up, brother? How you feel, man? I feel very good. I worked really hard for this. And I just want to say thank you to the people who came out and supported me. You know, losing 5 fights in a row, it's a lot of pressure, but it's a pressure I put on myself. It's not that serious. It's a pressure I put on myself. But thank you to the people who support me. It means the fucking world to me, and it makes anything possible. Who do you train with, Kevin? I train with all right, fans, let's get make some noise for Kevin Lizardo.
Well, that's great to see. Kevin and his very, very lovely girlfriend out that way. What a great moment for them. I mean.